meeting, and I'm like, that's great, you know? I can see it in my eye, I'm like, all right, this is good. And he beats a contract.
All right. So we are here at the Staten Island Courthouse, and these are DSNY, New York Sanitation workers who just came out of a hearing. And here is their attorney who won the case. Let's talk to him about what's going on.
Hi.
Tell everybody who you are and what just happened here.
So my name's Chad LaVeglia. I'm an attorney who gets to represent these fine men and women over here. What just happened was the judge found that the city's vaccine mandate is unconstitutional, violates the separation of powers, found it to be arbitrary and capricious. He found the commissioner's order mandating private and public employees to get vaccinated was arbitrary and capricious. And it's null and void, essentially. So we just defeated the vaccine mandate for every single city employee, not just sanitation, FDNY, NYPD, Department of Corrections, for all the brave men and women who have been our first responders and have been brave through all this. You're now free, and you should be able to go back to work.
These people here are they have been ordered to go back to work.
Yeah.
When?
Tomorrow
6
morning,
6 a.m.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Explain what the basis for your case was.
So the basis for the case, we weren't challenging that the health department had the power to make these mandates. It's just they're arbitrary and also violates the separation of powers because as an executive agent, you can't make the law. That's what our elected representatives do. And when Mayor Adams, in March 24th, exempted the athletes and performers, he really created a crack in the foundation of our Constitution. And then he really made it even worse when he made an exemption for the private sector. You can't just do that. It also violates the Equal Protection Clause, which the judge found as well, because what is the difference between a sanitation worker or someone working at a McDonald's? Nothing. For a virus, no difference. It infects them just the same. So Aaron Judge shouldn't get special treatment just because he plays for the Yankees. And as the judge said, unless the city mandated everybody to get vaccinated, it's arbitrary. These are distinctions that make no difference. And based on that, they exceeded the scope of their authority.
The judge spoke a lot about how these workers were asked to come into work throughout the pandemic with only weekly testing as a preventative, as a safety measure. They worked throughout the pandemic, and he was very adamant about his respect for city workers and the dedication that they showed during the pandemic, and adamant about the fact that we should treat them accordingly. The city should treat them accordingly.
Yes, I have the utmost respect for the judge, the court, and for his comments, and for.
Can you explain what I've said? Staten Island Courthouse, but what court is this, and what relevance does this have for the other cases? Where does this fit into the legal system?
Very good question. So we're in Staten Island Supreme Court. It's in Richmond County. And the judge sitting as a Supreme Court judge made a constitutional decision which has an effect for every single borough. So whether you're in Manhattan, Kings, Queens, the Bronx, it's citywide. So it's a wonderful thing. And the judge here really, hit the nail home that during the pandemic, when we didn't know what was going on, when death was lurking around every corner, these men and women, they went into work, not knowing if they'd get sick or return home at the end of the day. But they did that. They made that sacrifice for the city, just as the other brave men and women did. And for the city for the mayor, for Eric Adams to say, well, because you're a professional athlete or a performer, you're special. There's nothing more disrespectful than that and unwarranted. because it's only because of these workers that the city operates and functions as it does. Where would we be without them? Think about it. We could always forego a Yankee game, but we need our sanitation workers. We need our NYPD.
What could happen from here? How do you expect does the city have any options left? Could they respond in some way legally? And how do you expect this to play out for other agencies? Because this is all sanitation workers. This is all DSNY.
Yes. So they could appeal. They could try to file an emergency appeal to try to stay the judge's ruling. I anticipate they will do just that. Except they don't have the emergency basis that they had in the past. So in the past, in some other cases, they'll cite the pandemic. You're basically stripping away our ability to handle a pandemic. Which, by the way, Eric Adams made a joke of. He made a joke of when he put money over people's lives. It shouldn't be tolerated under any democratic government. It's not how we work. We're all equal. And, sorry, I think I forgot what the question was.
I think I asked you two questions in one. So I think the other question was how will this play out for other city agencies? What will happen with their employees who have been terminated, run leave without pay, are in limbo?
Yeah, great question. So I guess it depends on the appeal, but if the city did the right thing for once, they would just accept these employees back, and we can all start from a clean slate, just like it was pre-pandemic. It's over. Let bygones be bygones and let people move on. Let the city move on. Enough already. And so for them, I guess each agency's handling it differently, but as of now, there is no binding vaccine mandate on them.
All right, thanks very much for talking with me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, James.
I'm in. I'm up. It's a live thing?
It's live, unless you don't want to be live.
I need my boy to tell me he's yours. Okay. I like to add to the conversation.
That's fine.
You know?
All right, so we just heard from your lawyer.
Right.
Now I wanna
Best
hear from
attorney
you.
on the planet. Chad LaVeglia. Couldn't have been, he went to war for us, and we're forever grateful. But listen, it took all of us a lot of resolve, a lot of, this was I don't want to curse, but this was a big time mind fuck. Just completely disrupted our lives. I think I speak for all of us when I say we knew eventually we would be on the right side of history. They went way too far with this. I can't even believe it went on this long. I mean, it's so arbitrary and capricious, as the judge stated it. Literally making shit up as they go. The way they isolated us, it was really cruel. It really was, and it changed my life forever. I'll never trust the city again, the department again, the union again. As far as I'm concerned, they showed their true colors. We paid union dues, in my case, for over 9 years. The one thing you need to do is protect my job. And when the opportunity, when it came right down to it, you were nowhere to be found. So, you know what?
It's the only reason why they exist. The
Yes.
union is to defend your rights, the workers' rights. That's who they represent, and then they just sold you down the river.
Yep.
They didn't defend you at all. They said you're on your own. This is the city's thing. Okay,
Yeah.
what you're going with the city? You're supposed to be with us.
Yeah.
We're paying members of a union.
Yeah.
What do you do here? You know what I mean? As far as any kind of business agent, what do you do? I'm telling you, I have a problem with this thing, and you're not defending my rights. So why does the union exist anymore? I don't know.
And the union will tell us, oh, well, it was only such a small number of you.
Right.
Yeah, but what about the 1,500 sanitation workers who never would have taken this shot if not for the threat of losing their jobs? What about them? You screwed them over
Coercion the
too.
whole
You
way
didn't
through.
fight for them. And then they tell us, well, you made a choice. Listen, a choice is not you get to keep what you already have by giving up by giving up your medical decisions to us. That's called coercion.
Bodily autonomy.
That's coercion, and that's illegal, and that's exactly what they did to us.
You just said 1,500.
I'm estimating.
The city has been, the city hasn't really released numbers.
Well, I'm talking about
Numbers of people who were terminated, and so what number are you
for,
talking about?
all right, so I'm talking about I think there's 6,000 to 6,500 uniformed sanitation workers.
Yeah.
The number that actually got terminated for not going along, for not complying with the mandate, I'm not even sure what it is. I know there's us 16. There might be 10 or 20 more. I don't even know. Maybe 40. But out of those, but there's another 1,000 to 1,500 sanitation workers who were dead set against putting this shit in their body, and then all of a sudden, it took on the eve of being taken off payroll. Well, I got to do it. I have a family to feed. I got bills. I have a mortgage. And that's the only reason they did it. And so if the union's going to say, well, it's only such a small amount of you, fuck them. They're full of shit. They fucked over a lot more just than the 16 of us or 40 of us that got terminated.
They were allowing the city to just get rid of the 24 of us or 30 of us. Disposable. That's it. We'll make up those numbers. We'll hire another class. It's no problem. And they're cheaper. Yeah. New contracts.
They bring in new guys just for bottom pay.
Condition of employment.
They don't even have union protection for a year and a half.
Condition of employment is the vaccine. Okay, so they get their numbers up with that again, and they kick us to the curb and they save a lot of money.
They tell us we're selfish.
Yeah,
selfish for what? It
words
doesn't
we
work.
use. Selfish.
Everyone knows it doesn't work. In December of 2021, there was my garage of 180 guys. There was probably 50 guys vaccinated, all out with COVID, and they still terminated us. Are you kidding me? Evil, pure evil. Fuck them.
I gave them the month. That first month when everybody was not sure what was going on, but after you lived it for a little while, a couple of months later, and then the fact that vaccines coming out and we're still working. We worked there every single day. No mask, no vaccine, nothing. We worked every single day, did our jobs, and then all of a sudden, the city wants to mandate a shot in order to keep your employment.
Yeah.
And then I have to do things that I never had to do before: religious exemption, medical accommodation. I didn't need that when I got hired. So you don't get to just enforce that in an emergency situation. You don't. We had a contract that was signed.
The terms of employment.
Right. You could do it. The new people, the new employees have to have the vaccine as a condition of employment.
Now that's
but
a
I'm
choice.
already grandfathered in. I'm on the job already. My contract is the ink is dry. That's it. You don't. How does the union not defend this? Whatever.
Sickening.
Anyway, but this was a great outcome here today.
Yes.
Very, very great.
Yes.
Chad
So
LaVeglia,
now,
baby.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
What 16 people were able to do and accomplish, that should have been done by the union, or at least attempted. And
The numbers weren't in our favor. Look at this little small group. Yeah, heroic.
They probably assumed everyone would just be. They couldn't take the pain and would comply, and that would be it.
And they got a lot of people that way.
They figured with no money, they'll never have the resources to get good legal representation. They
Right.
denied our unemployment. A lot of us got denied unemployment, saying that we didn't quit, saying that we were what's the other
terminated
term?
for
insubordination,
misconduct.
Listen, I got the letter. It says
That's not what it
terminated.
says, right.
We didn't do anything wrong. You're trying to change the conditions, the terms of my employment, and then you deny my own. It's sick. It's sick,
the mayor
evil
said,
people.
"We quit." Show me that document where I quit. Nobody quit.
Yeah. You gave us a choice.
And then you give the exemption to athletes and performers, and you continue to lay off city workers. I mean, you're talking sick, evil shit, man. These are evil people. I don't know how much that you can use, but
that's when it didn't
Yeah.
start. That's when it didn't make any sense anymore. When you lifted up the mandate for the athletes and the performers, right? Okay, that's one. Now you're doing November 1st is the private sector. No more mandates.
Yeah.
Why is it still up for the public sector? What do you, because they know
the public doesn't have a choice if they have
they're
to
going
deal
to be
with us.
screwed
We
over
don't go to people's houses.
once they allow that. And they terminated all these employees. Now they're going to. It's a head scratcher. What judge would defend that anymore? You lifted it for the private sector. You lifted it for the athletes. but not the public workers. You're creating a segregation, a class system in society.
And you
here.
would think a union, the second he gave the exemption to the athletes and performers, you would think the union would mobilize their legal team and be like, we got them, equal protection. Crickets, radio silence, nothing.
Absolutely
Not only that, when we were terminated, or when our appeals were denied, first our exemptions were denied, then we had an appeal that was denied. We were told 3 business days to get vaccinated or we'll be put on leave without pay. And we'll stay on leave without pay until June 30th, where we don't get paid, but we at least have our benefits, health insurance, which is really cheap compared to what I had to do to get health insurance on the side. So then they say, oh, well, if you want to keep your benefits, you have to sign a waiver giving up your right to sue, and that's how you can keep your benefits. They gave us 24 hours to go down to Worth Street to sign this waiver. Now, this is a life-altering decision. How many union delegates were there to represent us or to advise us or help us out throughout the process? 0, not one. This is 831. Harry Nespoli.
And you were there when we went to the Cliff Street, the Union Hall. He asked him that same question. And what was his answer?
I didn't even know about it.
Right.
Meanwhile, it was the union. It was the from our union delegate for our zone who called me to tell me that I got to call this chief about going down to Worth Street to sign the waiver. But the head of 831, he didn't know about it.
You want to know what he said? Because the fire department was one of the first to get the ball rolling on it as far as their own separate case. Harry Nespoli said that he's going to wait back to see what happens with that case. Why? Why sit back and wait?
Yeah.
Why don't you be the initiator? Do something. Look at us. These people have no jobs, some of them. He sat there and he wanted to come to him rather than being the leader and going out to get something. Failed. Miserably.
Failure everywhere. Listen, you take the city job, no one's doing, we know we're not getting rich, you do it for security. And, where was our security? Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
You take the job because it's a choice.
You have to let
It's
us
not
make medical
glamorous.
decisions for you to have security now. Oh, really? Where's that in the
My
contract?
favorite comment also was the city saying, oh, well, this is not life ending. You can go find another job. I filled out the application. We filled out the application to serve the city. We can't file the application for NYPD. We can't file for FDNY. All that was taken away from us as if we have no lifestyle. We have no bills, no mouths to feed.
Yeah. I'm 52 years old. I'm supposed to learn how to be a plumber.
Right.
Right. I mean, come on. I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to be an accountant. I'll pay $200,000 for an accounting degree.
The world's your oyster.
I mean, come on.
And
You got it.
honestly,
This is holding you back.
we're not of age.
Right.
Air traffic control, they need to be a certain age. Suffolk County cop, you need to be a certain age.
32 years old.
Life was taken away.
Yeah.
Opportunity was taken away.
Sick, evil people. And finally justice. And, who knows? The city will probably appeal. Who knows? Who knows what they'll do?
I don't know how they're gonna.
I don't know how they're
No,
going
they
to.
will.
I mean, who
But
knows?
he just put the kibosh on the whole
He
thing.
did crush the
The
whole thing.
whole city's mandate since October 21st, crushed, finished, finito. So now what?
Yeah.
Your move, New York City Corporate Council.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the corporation council. I love that.
That's how you know.
Yeah, real humane, real human connection. There.
What else?
It's a machine.
So
You guys want to jump in here? You want to comment?
he's too tall for us.
This guy moved to Georgia, by the way. He's supposed
You moved
to
to
be
Georgia?
Yeah,
You're up here from Georgia
I
now?
applied for unemployment, denied. Everything just went bad after that. Everything, my whole life just went in a spiral. But it was a bright spot, and me and my family just picked up and left the city. We couldn't live here. We couldn't work. Not respected. Couldn't. It just, New York was just different. It just didn't feel like New York. It didn't feel like New York. So we had to get out of here, and we moved to Georgia. I am not coming back. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm not coming back. They destroyed my life. They destroyed my life. I had 8 years with sanitation and 10 years prior with NYPD traffic. So I did altogether was going to it'd be 19 years this year. It's 19 years working for the city. Never had a problem. Been an outstanding worker. Never been suspended. And just like that, my life is over. And I'm watch Eric Adams on TV talking crazy. Or what did he say? We quit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we quit. Man, it's been rough on us, and you guys are great, man. Just for standing together and holding firm. I highly commend and respect you guys.
You too. That's what you're supposed to do. Time of war, you stick together. You know what I mean? You gather your little soldiers with you, and you fight together.
Because I was in my office was a whole bunch of us, and it came down to just me and Mitch and one other guy, 3 guys out of many. And once they started doing that mandate and they started firing people and letting people go, everybody started running with it like chickens with no head. So we stood strong, and I'm I like the outcome. I like the outcome. Yeah, I like the outcome. It took some time, but I like the outcome.
I gotta tell you.
I mean, you've kind of moved on with your life. You moved to Georgia.
Yeah,
your
I'm still not
family's
working.
down there.
I'm still not working.
So you're looking for work down there
Yeah,
still, yeah.
yeah.
How long ago did you move down there?
I moved in June,
Okay.
July, or early July.
Right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, July 5th to be exact.
So were you on leave without pay for a while here?
Yes,
Is that what
I was
happened?
leave without pay.
Okay.
Yeah, leave without pay, and
On the side, of course.
like I said, I applied for unemployment. I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
I lost my rent stabilized apartment.
Yeah.
Lost it. Had that apartment for 20 years. We lost it. 20 years, 22 or 23 years to be exact. Lost that apartment. So it's like I had to get out the city. We just losing. We had to get out the city. We was losing everything one by one, and there was no way to keep it in place. I applied for rent to help pay the rent. Denied. It's like they all working together. It's like it's like
100%.
like in cahoots. So everything I applied for didn't work. So we was forced out the city. Forced out the city.
But you came up for this.
I had to come back,
You
man.
came up for
I
this,
had
yeah.
to come back because I had to see it for myself. So I took a day flight. I'm going back tomorrow. I took a day flight. Just came up today and I'm leaving tomorrow. I had to.
Will this affect you anyway? Aside from just satisfaction, one thing I didn't hear about was back pay or any kind of compensation.
Yeah, I mean,
for the lost time.
I want to get paid. I want back pay. I want pain and suffering. I did a lot of tears, crying. Me and my wife. Man, people don't know. There's so much high level stress. It's the most stressful situation I've ever been in my life, ever. You're talking about. I have 2 kids, 3, including my big daughter, and 2 younger ones, and I had to go into survival mode. I'm surviving right now on my 401k. That's what I'm surviving on. My bank account is depleted. So every plan I had, this destroyed every plan. All my savings that I had, it destroyed everything. So, by the will of God, this is all my whole faith just been on God. Honestly, I guess. So I don't know what's gonna come of it and how far it's gonna go, but this is like a shining light, and this is the first step, and we needed this. We all needed this. So
It feels like a big weight.
yeah, it just feels good because it feels good to
a whole year of this,
man,
going through this, and then to hear that, I was crying in that courtroom just because he was saying everything we've been saying since the beginning.
Everything, yeah.
We just wanted our jobs, which we had it for all this time, no problem. We worked through the whole pandemic, Like how do you do this to people? It's inhumane, there's no human element to this at all.
At the height of the pandemic, we were out there, just like the judge said.
Every single day.
There was concern about the boxes, touching the boxes, and we were out there.
And in a pandemic, a real pandemic, the sanitation workers are on the front lines of that. And then I'll tell you, they gave the city a public message to throw out all the PPE in the regular receptacles.
Yes.
So every day, if this is such a biohazard and stuff, how come they didn't set up separate units to clean this stuff, get this stuff out of the regular trash, do biohazard bins? No, we were picking up the gloves, the face masks, every single pail. They were everywhere.
And you didn't have any for yourself.
Nothing, right? They didn't offer you any protection.
No protection.
Nothing. So they didn't care about us. They didn't. They just wanted the stuff off the street. Good for business. All right, get it done, and that's it. F your health. Screw your life does not matter to us. The only thing that matters to us is the garbage.
Right.
Get it out. That's it. But again, if it was a real pandemic, I'm not knocking. There was something out here. But I'm just saying, if it was, we're taking this seriously. All right, everybody's on high alert, and as sanitation workers, again, you're going to houses that are going to have this stuff. How come the union didn't say, hey, give these guys proper protection out there? Give them hazmat suits. Just to keep them safe.
The union did us.
They didn't do that.
Terrible. The union did us bad. Did us dirty.
And that was at the beginning. That was before the vaccines. They PPE and the regular trash, household garbage. What? Then I'm gonna get a complaint if I don't pick a pail up because I don't feel safe picking it up. Like if I see anything in there, they do it with needles. Needles, you got to call a certain number to get the special unit out there and remove it properly. But with the PPE. It's right in the regular trash every day, just running down the street, picking the stuff up.
And nobody cared. But we were there doing it. We there doing the job.
Did our job.
That's
all. That's all the city and I have an agreement with. I signed a contract to pick up trash. That's it. I don't get to give you my body. My body is mine. Okay. So you might need it for employment or whatnot. But then what happens if this thing, when I go home from work? Now it's carrying over from my job. It's affecting my personal life now. What if I had a side effect?
They don't even care about that.
They act like it doesn't exist.
It don't even exist.
They act like, hey, sweep it under the rug. People are getting hurt from this. Okay? So if there's a risk of death and adverse reactions of any kind, how do you sit there and support this?
100%.
It's sinister. It's demonic.
100%. Yeah.
And then you take people's jobs.
Yes.
17 years. I would have been on my 17th year. 17 years doing no problem every single day.
Service to the city.
Not one bad report about me. All the evaluations, all the stuff, positive. I got calls from the public. Talking about my service. They were appreciative of it.
Yeah, but you quit.
And then this is it. I quit. Yeah. Nobody supported me. I didn't ask this union for anything for 17 years. Not one time. And now I need you, and you know where to be found.
Same as me. Never asked them for anything.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. The union.
Oh, the union. Forget about the union. Yeah. They're sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah. Embarrassing. 17 and a half years. And they just come and just throw you under the bus.
You worked for 17 and a half years?
Yeah. I worked with him.
We got some
We worked
big
at the
time.
same garage.
You said 19?
Yeah.
I got 17, okay, and then 17. So we got, this is good, but what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, do I want to go back into that place with these people that just kicked me to the curb and said, hey, you're on your own, pal? How can I look at these people in the face? How can I work amongst these people ever again? I'm traumatized. You know what I mean? This is the hardest thing, like he said, the hardest thing I had to do in my life. This took a lot of courage and faith and just listening to my intuition, my faith, okay, telling me there's something wrong here. Stay away from this. It's gonna be hard for you, but you're gonna find your way.
That's right.
And that's what I did. I followed the path, the thing inside me. I didn't follow the TV, the media. They're paid to lie. I just listened to my inner voice. Everybody here probably did the same thing.
Exactly. 100%.
Right?
Exactly what I did.
And I stuck to my convictions and my principles and my morals and my faith. Okay? And they denied it. My faith is my own. I told you at the Cliff Street thing. If I believe in a rock,
That's what I believe. Exactly.
And whatever it is,
No
if I
man
believe in an
contest
ashtray that tells me, don't violate your body. You're committing a deviant, like I guess you could call it medical rape, right? Yeah. You're telling me to do something against my free will. I don't want it. nobody should need an exemption from not wanting a medical procedure done to them. It's again, it's demonic. It's inhumane. Leave it at that. I don't want it. If it's a vaccine, it works as a vaccine, then it'll work for them. I take my chances on my life, on my own. If I die, I die.
That's right.
That's
all
it.
about choice.
Right.
All
It's a
about
choice. This is America.
choice.
This is America.
Who wants to
We
take
have
a
a
vaccine,
choice.
take a vaccine. Who don't want to take it? Why should I be penalized?
Right. And
Understand?
to have the media sit there
Yeah.
and point the finger at us
You're
and
the
getting
bad
everybody
guy.
against us
Yeah.
and say, hey,
you're spreading
anti-vaxxers,
diseases.
We the
keep them,
pandemic now.
keep them out of your house at the
Right.
Christmas time, the
Yeah.
holiday seasons.
Mayor
Yeah,
saying this on TV. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What they did to everybody.
Offering us what, $500 to take the
Families.
shots?
$500, yeah.
$500 they offered us.
500 at the last
Paying
minute.
you, bribing you to take a
Bribes.
experimental drug.
Right, bribes. I
burgers
thought that
and
was
fries.
illegal. I thought bribes were illegal.
Not when the city's doing it to you. I
Right, they're allowed to, right? That makes you think that what they were doing is wrong, and then we took what they offered, so they're protected under law. If you say, oh hey, why'd you make me do that? Oh well, we didn't make you do anything. You took the $500 that we were offering,
Right.
and the 8 hours comp time.
Right.
You know, so that's their safety net. So if you suffer a consequence from this, who are you going after? You got to understand. Oh, they made me take it. Nobody made you take it. You had a choice. That was a choice.
Right.
Okay, that was a choice, and they chose to take the little bait of paper money, paper fiat currency, over their bodily autonomy. Hey,
And we're here. We made the choice, and we're here standing as men.
it took a long
Men
time
and
to get a
women, so-
victory here.
Yeah,
boy.
but we deserve it.
This is humongous.
deserve it. We damn deserve it.
Thank you, Amy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
I
figured it was gonna help you out.
I got two. So we're on.
Anybody else up here want to say a few words on camera?
I kind of do, but I really don't have anything playing out in my head, so I don't want to sound like an idiot on camera.
We're just talking here.
I would just say we're hard workers. I had 18 years on the job, and they put me out. I served at a VK14 garage. I was the guy that came to work every day. My coworkers know me. They know that I was a hard worker. I was dedicated, and I loved the job. And for something like this to happen, it hurt me to my heart. But what can you do? But we fought, and God being on our side, He made a way for us that we could come back. And He placed good people around us. Good people like you, Amy, that's reporting on this, our lawyer, and just us sticking together as a team. Because you need people with you. You need a family around you. And I never felt alone. I always knew I had good people around me. That's basically all I have to say. I'm just happy that we got the victory.
Are you planning to go back to work tomorrow morning?
I don't know how this is going to work out. If I got to go back, I'll go
That's
back.
what the judge said.
Yeah, so
6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. So I don't know. Chad has got to fill us in as to what to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to say a few words? Or are you planning to go back to work?
Again, we're just in limbo.
Yeah.
We won the case. It
Yeah.
feels good to win.
Yeah.
But we're just still in like a strange limbo. Like I don't know whether to show up tomorrow because I know at the garage they probably don't have me set up to work tomorrow. So it's kind of like a strange thing. Maybe I'll just show up and see what they say.
Yeah.
They'll probably send me home and whatever happens.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
You want to say a few words?
Well, I mean, George is the man. George got put all this together. But do they want to speak first? I've spoken a lot, so if anything, let them speak first. 'Cause I've said.
Anybody else
Don't
want to
put my
comment?
part online, please.
Yeah, well, I would just like to make a comment that I'm very grateful to the attorney that helped us win this case here today. And this was very much an injustice, but more so that today was about Christ, because it seemed a lot of people forgot about that, because I went out on a religious exemption, and I went out based upon my belief in Jesus Christ. And so now Christ is won. So now I'm going to be able to return, and I stood on my square, stood on my ground, stood for what I believed in. So many people, a lot of rhetoric, a lot of people spoke about, oh, we're going to be together, solidarity. We are those people now. I only see these people here, and these people here should be celebrated, heroes. And just very thankful to Chad, to the attorney here, And just want to give thanks to my, because I haven't really heard anybody say that to my Savior, Jesus Christ. And that's what this was all about for me, as far as a religious exemption. It wasn't about getting out of work, anything like that. We won, but then also I'm looking at what did I really win? Because if anyone that received unemployment, you have to pay that monies back. Then possibly, are they going to give you back pay? And then you also run the risk that what the judge stated, that if you don't show up at work, at the work site, possibly a catch-22, they could turn around and fire you. So we won, but I thank God that we won. But I'm supposed to be at work in the morning, what they stated, and I just want to make sure that this is documented, because if something was to happen, that everyone knows. But thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all the people out there that supported us. Thank you. Thank you.
So in other words, you're saying, man, the superintendent's going to be standing there like this? What's going on here?
Yes, because they're very racist. They're very racist and they're very biased. Obviously, we see that today while we're here. That's why we won. You know what? Because they fired us without reason. And then we just won just now. So obviously, look at the people with whom we work for, the people with whom we work with. Doesn't say very much for their integrities. No integrity and very bad character. But once again, thank you. Thank you.
Sure, I'll speak that.
Speak for the Jewish brothers. Speak for all of us.
Well, first, of course, I got to say thanks to Chad and, of course, to George for putting all this together. Chad was found through George, so, of course, we got to give him a lot of love for that.
Explain for people who are just
so George is one of our guys. He was the one who got in touch with Chad and got him on our case, so we got to say a big thank you to him as well, because he found Chad. We weren't sure who to look for because there were no lawyers out even taking these cases at that time. I mean, even just to find someone to write in my religious exemption to the EEOC, it was every other lawyer was telling me, no, we're not taking cases like this, we're not taking cases like this. I finally found one, but it was really difficult at first to find lawyers to touch any of this stuff. And I think this should be the floodgates for all lawyers to wake up and realize, we've gone after I've personally spoken to the ACLU about this, and they've completely just, yeah, sure, this is okay. And I said to them, there's a video of it, where I asked them, when do mandates trump laws? And they kept saying, well, the courts. Well, now here's the courts speaking. So is the ACLU going to change its opinion? Is the NYCLU going to wake up and say, oh, maybe we were violating people's civil liberties by forcing them to take vaccines, by violating their religious convictions, by creating this atmosphere of basic tyranny? Like, this is the foundations of tyranny. I hope that other lawyers and that other organizations that claim to protect American civil liberties and protect the rights of middle-class people, I hope they start stepping up and realizing that this is not about a vaccine, this is not about COVID-19, this is about tyranny. This is about the eradication of civil rights, of the First Amendment, of the Bill of Rights, of the 14th Amendment, all the foundations that make the United States the unique country that it is. The fact that we have a constitutional republic, we have laws that, administer what the government can do vis-a-vis us, and they were violated. This has all been violated, and it cannot continue like this. We cannot continue on this path of allowing, the governments to use arbitrary means to just take away the Bill of Rights and just take away the rights that were granted to us from being born in this country. And this is also a fight for the middle class, because these laws specifically targeted middle class workers. They weren't, Eric Adams didn't give it to the celebrities. Congress is a lot of places, a lot of rich organizations. Goldman Sachs is not mandated anymore. JP Morgan is not mandated anymore. Yet you cannot go to high school, you cannot go into a CUNY or a SUNY, you can go into without getting these vaccines. Who is this targeting? This is targeting mostly regular people, middle class people. It's not targeting the 1%, it's targeting 99%. And our unions also, there needs to be a check on how our unions have handled this, because our unions cannot get away with what they've done. And if we go back to work, whether it's tomorrow or next week, whatever it is, our colleagues have to look at us and realize that that as much as we were screwed by the city, we were screwed by our union as well. And our union has to be held accountable. And now, of course, as you know from what I said last time with the 12-126, now they're coming for their health care, and they're doing this with no qualms. Why? Because they know that people are not going to step up. That's going to be a few of us at the end of the day who are really going to step up for the majority, because we didn't do this for us. We didn't go to the union hall to confront them that time for us. We went for you. We went for all of you who said, I can't do this, I got a family, I can't risk this kind of stuff. Well, people here got families too, and they risked it. And they took the gamble, and they said, no, we're going to stand on our religious convictions, we're going to stand on our personal convictions, and we're going to come after that. We're going to do something about this. We had no money, guys were getting denied unemployment, but we did it anyway. And this needs to be a wake-up call to all the guys in our district who are sitting around worrying about whether the Mets are going to win or what the Jets and Giants are doing. This needs to be a wake-up call that there are so many bigger factors at play that if you don't confront them now, you are going to wake up homeless on the nation, on the land that your ancestors came to be part of. They didn't come here they came here for religious reasons. They came here for the right to be left alone. And you are going to take that American dream away from them, because they came here so you could have a good future, so that you can have a stable middle-class life, so that you won't be a serf. And if you allow those systems that your ancestors, that your family ran from, to be implemented here, you've destroyed the American dream, not just for yourself, but for them.
All right, 6 a.m. You planning to go to work?
6 a.m. I plan to go to
That's
work.
what the
Well, I was
judge
actually a
said.
night shift guy. I actually work nights, so my shift was either 12 to 8 or 4 to 12. I'm not sure, because I don't know what they're going to, I don't know, I'm not sure what they're going to do.
You don't know what the plan is.
Yeah, I mean, we can't, it's a little late to get put on the board now. I don't even think the borough or Worth Street knows what's going on yet. This is going to take time to trickle down to them. And then the union's got to have its freak out session, because I don't think they expected us to come back. I don't have my badge and ID anymore. I gave that back. I have uniforms, but I don't know if my locker was cleaned out. I never went back and cleaned my locker, so I don't know what my locker situation is. And also they broke contracts with like our health insurance and stuff like that. We got to get these, this is not just something that we can just, flip a switch. There's paperwork that's got to be done. There's procedures that's got to be, followed. And, they didn't do it for getting us fired. That they completely didn't do. But they're going to make sure to do it right to get us back on the job. That they'll dot their I's and cross their T's. And make sure, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I might show up tomorrow just to say hello, and but I don't think I'm going to be on the board. So I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I think it's going to take a couple of days.
Right.
At least a week, I would imagine.
Right.
So, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you, and congratulations.
Always a pleasure.
What's your MTS you was at? I love nice face. Just real quick, so basically, I give all glory to the Lord today for this victory, because this was a long and hard battle, financially, mentally. This took a strain on my family and friends who were supportive of me for making my decision. And it's not something easy to stand up for what you believe in when you have the majority of people going against you. And, I'm just very grateful for this opportunity to be heard and to have a judge who was, weighing out all the facts and putting together this decision today that we basically made history, and I'm very grateful for that, and all the people who stood with us. So I'd like to say thank you to Chad for leading us through.
with this fight, but most important, give all grace to the Lord who made this happen. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ask her a question, a softball question.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just really excited that we won, got our jobs back, and I can't wait to make a change going back in.
Tell me what you do exactly and how long you've been
I
on the
was
job.
on the job for a little over 3 years, and I worked at the FCS in 91st Street where they dump the garbage. I loved it. I loved using the front end loaders, you know, the Tampa. It was my family there, you know. I grew a second family, and I can't wait to go back.
You plan to show up tomorrow morning?
I'm not a morning person. I was the night shift, but
Night shift,
we'll
right.
see. We'll see.
Okay. Any thoughts on the decision? What happened
I'm
here
just-
today?
I'm just so grateful, like he seen the truth, you know, like it was unfair. Like I worked through the pandemic, 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, and then you just throw me out like trash. Like come on, like it wasn't right. What is my beliefs are different from, you know, somebody else. How are you gonna prove somebody else? I have beliefs too, you know, like it was unfair, uncalled for how they did everything.
It's your belief.
My belief. You know?
You had a religious basis for, yeah.
I had a similar. I actually let my friend had a similar exemption, and his got approved, and mine got denied. And I'm like, and I put my exemption in on time and everything, and he did it after the fact, and he was able to come back to work, and you know, and I'm like, how is his belief different than mine? Like, you know, come on now, you know. But
The only female sanitation worker that stood her ground.
How I look at it.
Congratulations.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.